Well, Bawi Grana Weep Nini Bong, Cameron.
Ba weep grana weep ninny bong, Kellen.
And to all my viewers, Bawi Grana Weep Nini Bong. Well, today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at something in particular. Cameron, what would that be?
We're going to take a look at another crossover Transformers. This time, the series Jurassic Park.
Alrighty. So to get rolling with this, let's go ahead. So here we have Rexy, or as the box calls her, Tyrannicon Rex, with.
Tyrannicon Rex.
But I think we could go with Rexy. It's just a lot more simple, right?
Yep. Yes, I would agree.
One of the things that I like is the detail, because when you go into it, you can see that up here, Megatron's eyes are a solid red color. But when you go to Rexy, they actually went to the detail, giving her detail in the pupil.
Right. Yeah, I did notice that myself. That's a really good difference between the two that stands out. So, yeah.
I had to shoot her with T-Rex also.
Of course.
Which again, T-Rex solid yellow, repeated like Megatron's red. And of course, I think it looks good in contrast with her design. Because when we get to robot mode, you're going to see that Beast mode's kind of where the majority of the paint budget went to. Kind of feels like. But how do you think she looks stacked up against T-Rex?
To be honest, I really like the way that she looks. I think it looks really cool in dinosaur mode and 2X mode. I mean, I got to hand it to them. In 2X mode, it really does look good. Now, having not seen her yet in robot mode, I can't give you a yes or no what my feelings are on that yet. But I know we're going to see that shortly. But for right now, what I'm seeing, I think they really did do a good job with the paint and coloration and the accuracy of the dino.
So here's all three of our dinos together. And
yep.
Megatron's mold, I think, is my favorite from the Kingdom line. And I think even more so when they did it as T-Rex in the red colors, I liked it more. Now, while Rexy is not my favorite, it's just because like T-Rex's whole shtick was him just being like a doppelganger of Megatron. So it's more believable. Whereas Rexy, I mean, her primary showcase mode is beast mode. So
yeah, of course.
This is since we saw all three of them, it seemed only fair to do it in the 360.
Right. And they really do look a lot like each other in a way. I mean, the molds they look much like the other mold. I'm sure that there is maybe some slight variance here and there, but for the most part, you can tell that they went with the Megatron mold for the Rexy Transformer.
Well, the only thing that's different between all three of them is the robot mode head. So virtually in beast mode, they are all identical. So
gotcha.
All right, well, let's move on to the other part of this set, which is JP93, which he should have had a different name, because these guys have all had, there's only two of them that have had really good names. That's Maverick and Gigawatt. Everything else, Expanse, JP93, the people think they're probably being very clever, being like, man, we're geniuses. And it's just like, well, clearly you're not, because the names, we can get back to that. I'll tell you what I think this guy should be called here in a minute. But what do you think of the vehicle mode?
I love the vehicle mode. It looks just like the vehicles from the movie, the ones that Dr. Grant and all of them were in on the tour. I mean, I think they really outdid themselves with the vehicle mode. I mean, I kind of think it's funny because we didn't see it in the movie like this, but the fact that this one has like a gun on top of the hood or on top of the car, I do kind of think that's funny that they added that. I know it's probably a gun for the robot he turns into,
Well,
but I do get such a kick out of that because I'm like, you're just not used to seeing that in a Jurassic Park vehicle,
this is
you
this
know?
civilian mode. This is gun-toting psycho mode.
Right?
This is
Yeah.
for when the dinosaurs escape. This is to protect the tourists.
Hey, they pull out all the stops for protection their tourists.
Absolutely spectacular design, spared no expense.
And okay, so say you want to have the gun attached, but not like this, right? Well, as is tradition with any transformer, if you turn him over to the side, you could just plug it to the bottom, and it stores away where you have no worries.
Nice. Okay, so that's really interesting that they put that there. Wow. Okay. Well, it makes sense too that they would put it underneath the car. So, oh wow. Yeah.
So 8, 9. Okay, so basically, despite the fact he's a theme park Jeep, I think
Hmm.
he fits in with he's a 1990s Jeep. So these 1980s sports cars, it doesn't seem wild. How do you feel about it?
Uh, the car doesn't look that out of place, and it doesn't look too crazy either.
Because you're talking about a decade's difference between the design philosophy
Right.
types of vehicles.
Right. Which technically it would be because I mean, given that the movie came out in '93 and that the show came out in the early '80s, so it would make sense that you know for that.
It's not like taking a car from the 70s and putting it up against a car from 2010.
Right. Right.
Alrighty. And let's see here. Number 10. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I had to throw them in there with the other Autobots and the other crossovers. And, let's just call him Jetstorm. Jetstorm does blow the scale a little bit, but I kind of like how this looks. What do you think about having all these guys together as like a group shot?
To be honest, I think this would make for a very, very cool comic book, cartoon show, or whatever. I would actually like this. Would love to see all these characters together in something.
Oh, okay. So this is one half of the diorama. Okay. And what do you think with what we just see right here?
I think it looks like it's depicting a scene from the movie itself, from Jurassic Park. I mean, you're looking at the gate, or I shouldn't say the gate, but the fence in the background that's been torn up by the Tyrannosaurus. So yeah, I think it's really cool seeing it like this. Gives it a new dynamic to see it like this.
And what about this?
Oh, of course. See, even more so because you got the dino crushing the car, but I mean, obviously a little differently than what it was in the movie. But yeah, same principle. See, all together, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. I know what you're going for here. I would probably do the same thing. Great way to display the piece.
So you like how this all looks, right?
Yes, I love it. I love that background. They outdid themselves. Of course, they always do with their backgrounds and stuff. I
Well,
like their backgrounds they choose.
this won't be the last time you see it in this video. So
Right.
little teaser there.
Okay.
So if you move to the inside flap of the box, Mr. DNA.
Of course. I figured at some point they would have Mr. DNA at somewhere on the box art because he's quite a recognizable character from the film itself. So, but yeah, showing them on the box is really cool. Really cool.
So
Oh,
we move on
okay.
to our girl in robot mode. What do you think of this with her in the sunlight?
Well, first of all, I think that the feet they actually kind of look like boots. I'm
Well,
not gonna lie, they kind of look like boots on her.
hold on, put a pin in that thought.
Okay.
So her head looks like an amalgamation of Grimlock and Starscream.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because like one of the dead giveaways is like the side vents that Starscream rocks, and then you've got like the visor, this kind of Grimlock, and then just kind of how it molds together. And
Of course.
which for a robot mode head, I actually like that.
You know what? I think they blended the two together quite nicely. I think it's a good choice on the face of the Transformer itself.
We get to it. Okay. I agree with you. She's right. Okay, because a lot of people have a problem. They're like, okay, this is a reuse of a bloke figure, But
Mhm.
when you really look at the paint job, I noticed this because the way they painted her up, it's like the girl has a red pseudo one-piece swimsuit that
Yep.
she's pairing with a pair of knee-high kinky prehistoric leather boots.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, and this is kind of a funny thing to me too. Is it looks like on one end of its like one arm, it looks like the tip of that's like some kind of a lobster claw, or maybe it's meant to mimic a crab claw, and then you have what appears to be the head itself also as a claw.
That's the bleed through of the Megatron mold, because
Yeah.
in fiction, his left arm, his tail would become a missile launcher. So this part right here was where the missile would launch out of.
Okay.
You'll see later on in robot mode, there's another picture here we'll come across eventually, that you see how the head is utilized as a weapon. So
Okay.
there's actually reason behind it.
There's a method to their madness. I gotcha.
Yes. What's funny is where it looks like boots for her, like on Megatron and T-Rex, as you can see, they don't look like boots. You can tell
Right.
that's their legs,
Which I guess is because of the paint color. Maybe that's why it looks like boots.
Right. So anyway, if we move on to 21, here's the group shot of them all three, and you can definitely see that out of all these, Megatron just kills it with
Mhm.
the job on the chest, and I've always loved that. And these two, aside from her swimsuit detail, they don't get away with it as much as
He kind of looks on the one on your on my left here. Kind of reminds me of a suit of armor, and as you said, with her, it looks more like a one piece swimsuit, and then his looks more just drastically different. Like an actual robot.
Well, that
So-
gives it, I guess, with the swimsuit deal, what they're going for is because it is a female, it's a girl transformer, that kind of lends
Could be.
itself to it, whereas when you have the solid color with him or the picked out details, this maintains more of a masculine look.
Right.
I could be wrong, but that's how I kind of read it. So
Yeah. Could be.
and now we move on to our boy.
Nice. I think he actually looks really cool with the sunlight pick on him. I think it looks really good. He really has a lot of character to him in robot mode. I mean, I think he looks better in Jeep mode than he does in robot mode. I say Jeep mode, is probably not even a Jeep, but you know what I'm saying. In vehicle mode, he looks better than he does in robot mode, but he doesn't look bad in robot mode either. He looks decent. So
What's funny is it's not made from a previous Transformer mold like Rexy is,
mhm.
but it has a lot of the stereotypical Autobot design elements to it, because a lot of them have the hood chest, they have the door wings, and then the back half forms their legs.
Very, very similar to the way Jazz looked in the Transformers movie, how he had the doors on his back with the wings and all that.
Well, I think you're thinking of Prowl.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Jazz is Sans doors, so.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
The head. I think the hat is kind of an amalgamation of the two. Plus, he is rocking Alan's shades a little bit. What do you think about that?
I think it looks very interesting, the hat combination. You're right. It does look like a blend of Grant's hat versus Robert's hat there, and the fact that he's wearing the sunglasses, yeah, that I look to me it looks like sunglasses as well. I mean, if that could have been what they were trying to go for, but I don't know.
Which is probably his legit robot eyes, but
Right. But
so okay.
The hat doesn't come off, does it?
Oh, no. Okay, the one thing I wanted to mention was, we mentioned the names, and I called Expanse Jetstorm because I think he's a Blackbird jet. There's a couple Transformers with the name Jetstorm, and then there was an X-woman named Storm, so it makes sense, right?
Right.
For this guy, his name should be Outback because in the 1980s Transformers cartoon, there was a Jeep character named Outback, and he had an Australian accent whenever he spoke. So you see where I'm going with this.
I do see where you're going with this because, yeah, the hat itself, yeah, the look. Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just refer to him as Outback from here on out?
Right. No, I agree.
You like that running pose?
I was gonna say it's either him running or skating or something. Yep, that looks good. I like it.
Oh, okay. Just your opinion. What do you think of this?
Well, in my honest opinion, I would see Hot Rod there is giving Outback there the universal greeting.
And what's weird is this is actually him after he's become Rodimus.
Yeah.
So the way when I shot this, it's kind of like, okay, that Jetstorm and Gigawatt have already kind of joined the Autobots, and maybe they're trying to get, they're offering the same opportunity to, Outback.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I kind of shot it. But so you like having all three of these guys with Rodimus here in this picture?
Yes, I do. And like I said before, I would love to see these guys do something together in an official comic book, television show, cartoon, or movie, or whatever. I want to see that happen. So somebody out there better make that happen. I want to see that.
Well, I got good news for you, Cameron. He accepted Rodimus's offer.
There you go. See, I like that. Gave him a little bit of Energon to go with him.
Yes. So anyway, okay, yeah, that's the next one. Okay.
Yep.
As part of doesn't he just look cool in this group shot?
Yes.
But why don't
he does.
Why don't we go a little bit closer in? How about that?
Oh, see, I love the tight shot right there. That looks really cool.
Like they're all heading, like they're all running into battle, and
Mm-hmm. You better believe it. See, to me, it almost looks like you ain't getting to Jetstorm. You're gonna have to go through us to get to Jetstorm.
Well, for me, it looks like all 6 of them are running right at you. Just
right, that too.
Because he's got his claws out,
Of course.
They're getting ready to take on Tyrannicon or Rexy and the Decepticons. Which, what's funny is I told you before we shot this that it's kind of funny because Tyrannicon is a portmanteau of Tyrannosaurus and Decepticon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Could we have them not square off in robot mode?
See?
What do you think about that?
That's awesome.
So
they actually gave you effects to go with it. That's pretty genius.
Actually, those are used from other figures.
Oh, see, that's even better. I was thinking, wow.
So anyway, that's what I was talking about with Rexy, because the Megatron T-Rex hand has always been a cannon that could be used by any of the characters. And
right.
So anyway, he's obviously getting a few shots off. She's getting a shot off. But as we can see in the next one, things are, just nuts. So
Yep, absolutely.
But as skilled as he is, Rexy may actually have him on the ropes.
No, oh boy. Yep. I would see that would probably happen.
But you know what? Maybe maybe Outback's a little bit more clever than we give him credit for.
Oh, because maybe he took her out with just a blast when she had the gun in her mouth. Boom.
Or who knows how that happened. But I kind of like
Of
this
course.
because Rexy's all just like, he's
Yeah.
like, this is over, man. So, man, I say some of these pictures I really dig.
You had fun with it. I could tell you definitely had fun with it. But I think my overall view of both of these characters is that I think they're really cool. They're both really good in their own right. Like, I think to me, they look better like in their vehicle / beast mode, but they don't look bad either in their robot modes. So yeah, I think I would, if I was to give those a rating, I think I would rate those probably a 7.5 out of 10 for me. I think they really did a really good job with these Transformers.
So, Gigawatt, he was a good one. And I feel maybe he's a little bit better executed than Outback.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a deluxe size version of that car that I've seen since I was a kid. And now to have it, that is just so awesome to me.
Mm-hmm.
They've already reused his mold for a guy in Legacy named Skids.
Mm-hmm.
Few should be happy, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that Outback is probably a 9 out of 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rexy, but she really kind of hits around a 7 or an 8.
Right.
So collectively, the set gets about maybe an 8.5 for me, because like this backdrop right here and the packaging and just how good the figures both are together, especially, that's why the set for me gets probably about 8.5.
Right. That's and me giving it a 7.5 doesn't mean that I don't like it, because I definitely do, obviously. And I mean, I'm thinking I might even get one of these myself eventually. So I mean, that's a pretty cool set. I'm not gonna lie, that's it's one of the better sets. It's way better than the Top Gun set that they did.
Now Maverick, he was a good name, despite his
He was a good name, and in jet mode he looked amazing. But in robot mode, obviously, it was like,
I talked to one of our friends, which we won't say his name on here, but he said he wasn't a fan of it either. And
right.
I mean, I don't know, I don't think there was a lot of love given to Maverick, to be honest. But yeah, this set, we knew this was coming, because when they released Megatron and you look at his T-Rex mode, you're like, that is the Jurassic Park T-Rex. Like, it was a given from the moment you got the mold, and then you're,
right.
So, alrighty, well, just a little bit of plug. If you guys have not seen my previous video, it is the Covert Agent Ravage, the Decepticons. Really, I put a lot of love into that. So if you guys could give it a view, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it. Sorry, YouTuber having to plug his own content. It's part of the game. You come here, you're waiting for. And then of course we also have T-Rex. His video's up if you wanted to see a much better version of this mold. And other than that, Cameron, thank you for joining me on this deal. I really appreciate you helped me out with that. So
absolutely, anytime, bro.
Alrighty, well, guys, until next time, we'll see you in another review.
All right.